Hey ladies, today what I want to talk about is creating some type of strength legacy. So building resilience through generations. So one of the things that I was thinking about is Mother's Day and how my son rang up and said, "Do you want to go hike the mountain for Mother's Day?" And I said, "Oh, I'd love that. I'd really, really love that." And he said, "Well, we know that that's something that you enjoy doing." So we went up the mountain, him, his wife, and my grandkids, his children. And so it was this generation, these three generations, that were able to spend time together and connect. But one of the things I was actually thinking about is how movement is medicine. And we all probably know this, right? But the simple truth is, it is more powerful when it's shared across generations. And it's particularly really powerful when you're sharing it with children who have some type of anxiety or some type of trauma. So, one of the things that happened to me this year was that we had two grandchildren come to live with us, and they're here on a permanent basis. So, this meant the whole routine that we had in place has basically changed. And so, these children have been through trauma, they have anxiety, and so they're starting to learn this power of a morning ritual. So every morning we have this fresh opportunity as parents or grandparents to demonstrate healthy habits. And so when our children wake up, what we're doing is we're celebrating movement, and that well-being is woven into our daily life in some way, shape, or form. And because of this, those patterns are just being woven into the children's life just naturally. And so they're not viewed as being exercises, they're more building blocks for resilience. So those simple morning rituals might include, starting the day with a glass of water. And I know that the kids have actually, they roll their eyes, but they actually go, "Yes, we know that water gives us energy. We know." And so they're drinking the water, and at some point, it's going to become an automatic process for them. So water is such a great way to encourage all of us to have healthier habits, right? So then the next thing is to encourage some type of playful movement that doubles as strength training. So one of the things that we started using was an everyday object, which was the swing set for movement. We started doing pull-ups and chin-ups on the bars. And so we've been putting, the resistance bands on there, and we've been doing all sorts of push and pull movements off of the swing set. And so now when I say, "Have you been moving this morning?" You'll see them run out there and start, giving me some chin ups. And it's quite disappointing that, that they're so good at it. And for me, it's like, "Oh, wow, this is a bit of a struggle." But what it's doing for me as well is helping me stay strong, and it's creating that level of resilience for me at the same time that it's doing something for them. The other thing is doing deep breathing. Nighttime yoga is particularly, I mean, the statistic is mind blowing about how it impacts sleep and how much better you sleep when you have actually done some type of deep breathing and yoga style movements. The other aspect that I started doing was getting them, they've had a journal since they've come here. And so what we started to do was in that journal, write down positive words. That was, we did that for quite a few weeks. And then we moved on to positive statements. And so we discussed a positive statement and what it might mean and how we might use it. So we're trying to create, that level of openness in communication and some type of positivity so that they're establishing their daily routine in a better way. But it's not just them that's doing that. I'm doing it at the same time. But trauma, movement and trauma, they basically go hand in hand. For kids who are anxious or have some level of trauma, the predictable routines and physical activity is really, really healing. And so the research shows that movement helps regulate the nervous system and it helps process difficult emotions that we may have as well too. So when we combine that with the security of consistent caregiving, we've got this really, really powerful foundation for healing. So movement becomes more than just exercise when we create a safe, predictable environment for that physical activity, when we celebrate those small victories and progress, and when we use movement as a way to connect and bond. One of the more recent reels that I shared was me doing elastics and teaching them how to do elastics, which was heaps of fun. I haven't actually jumped and done that type of thing in quite a lot of years. And so I don't know, I had a huge smile on my face. So it was quite wonderful for me. It also helps kids when we're doing these things appreciate their body's capabilities. And it encourages us to, when they say, I can't do it, to say, okay, we might not be able to do it right now, but let's try. Is there a different way to do this? Can we downscale it? So there's this huge opportunity for these kids as well too. And so what we're doing is we're taking strength building and making it more playful and natural in their life, which is amazing. So there are so many everyday opportunities for strength. And as I said earlier, we're using the swing set to do as a pull-up bar. The garden is that opportunity to squat and lift and learn about nurturing and growth. So every time cooking, making a healthy meal together, every opportunity is an opportunity to model and teach. So how what we're doing is we're showing them how to move safely, how to be effective in that movement. We're showing them how strength matters in daily life, how connection between physical and emotional health is important. We're also showing the importance of consistency over perfectionism. So some of these kids, it's got to be all in or all out. So what we're doing is showing them that it's okay to be, just do your best. And then just put a little bit of a cherry on top. Just take it that little bit extra, but it doesn't have to be perfect. And it's also teaching them how to listen and respect their bodies at the same time, that we're learning to listen and respect our bodies at the same time. So when we model strength training and healthy habits, we are teaching more than physical skills. We're actually demonstrating resilience through challenging movements. We're showing importance of health, self-care. We're showing how to set and achieve some type of goal and the value of consistency, as well as the fact that it's never too late to start something new. So, and what we're doing here is that we are creating this legacy, this lasting impact. Strong women come in all ages, as well as strong men. So what we're doing at the same time is I'm showing her, the little girl, how to be stronger, but I'm also showing the little boy that women are respected and that they can be strong, as well as that it's okay for him to show emotions at the same time. We're also showing that Self-care is not selfish by any stretch of the imagination, and that movement can be fun, it can be healing, and that every single day when we get up, we got a fresh start and we decide how we're going to do that. And when we're stronger, it builds confidence and it also builds independence. So let me talk about some practical ways to build your legacy. So I want you to think about how you might make movement accessible. So by creating some type of designated movement spaces in your home, keeping the equipment visible and available so we see it, and turn everyday items into exercise opportunities. So that's first and foremost. The second thing is to teach these consistent routines and how to build them. So also start with the morning routine because it's always the easiest. Because when we do one thing right in the morning, then the next thing follows and the next thing follows. So you want to include kids in your workout routines and make that physical activity just a natural part of daily life. Point number 3 is to share your journey, talk about your own strength goals, celebrate the improvements that you've made together. And it's one of the things that you can do in the diary or the journal that you're sharing with one another of a morning. You can also discuss how being strong helps you in daily life. And they might go, oh, I'm feeling like I can now do this. So they have the opportunity to connect more as well. The other thing is to allow yourself or teach them how to connect movement to healing. So use the physical activity to help process emotion. It's one of the things that I do when one of them is starting to get a little bit peaky. It's like, okay, it might be time to go and ride your bike outside. Let's go up and down that driveway. And so off he goes pedaling the bike and he comes back in. I say, how are you feeling now? And he goes, yeah, better. And he goes, I go, okay, maybe you need another lap. And so off he goes and does another one. And it really does help him. So he's learning that is a way of processing his emotions as well. And so we're creating this safe space for movement and exploring different types of movements. And we're celebrating that body and its capability. So I think all of this means that we are creating this ripple effect, right? So when you prioritize your strength and your well-being, other parents and grandparents will take notice of that. Children will share those healthy habits with their friends because they love to actually share what they're good at. You're becoming a community role model when you're doing these things. You help break negative cycles and you create new family traditions which are centered around this health and strength, which I think is just simply amazing. So, how do we put this legacy in action? Just remember, each and every morning you choose to move, and every time you demonstrate a healthy habit, and every moment you teach or you spend teaching these values to that next generation, you are building a legacy that is not just for these children. They're going to pass that on to future generations. So it's not just about building these stronger bodies, you're building stronger, more resilient people. That's just amazing, right? And so by combining this strength training and nurturing care, you create a powerful foundation for healing and growth. You're showing that it's never too late to get started, that every small action you take counts, and that strength is not just physical, it's also emotional. And so your strength legacy is more than just exercises you teach or the habits that you model. It's the confidence, it's the resilience, and it's the self-care practices that will support your family and generations to come. So I hope you enjoyed today's topic. And if you did, please comment below and share how you're building a legacy and how you're helping your grandkids or your children or future generations in some way build their confidence and help them heal and just build some level of resilience so that they grow up being strong people. All right, so take care and I'll see you all soon. Bye for now.